Meredith with Extreme Terrain, and today I'm talking with Dorice about her Gladiator. Thank you so much for joining with me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
So let's kind of give everybody a recap of what you're working with. So you have a 2021 Willys Gladiator. You have the 18 by 9.5 inch Black Rhino Rapid Midnight Blue wheels with a negative 18 millimeter offset, and that wheel and tire combo gives it an aggressive stance. You have the 35 by 12.5 R18 Atturo Trailblade XT multi-terrain tires, and then you have the Teraflex 1.5 inch performance spacer leveling kit. Now this is a very unique build, and I love to see that out of this. Can you tell me a little bit why you chose this setup and this combination for you?
I chose the blue actually because I am Wonder Woman, and I'll tell you why. I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, so that's just been my theme to get through everything.
Yeah.
I'm 100% cancer free, but that was just my theme, and that was the reason why I chose the blue as opposed to red, white, and blue, because I've seen too many vehicles with red, so I wanted to be a little bit unique. So I love the tires and I love the wheels, so it was just different from everything that I've seen, so that was the reason why I chose it. You know, the leveling kit, I just did a leveling kit because I wanted to, you know, kind of build it up, so I am going to put like a higher lift on it next year, but it was just like, okay, let's just start here so I can get a little bit used to driving the truck, because I usually drive a regular, so it's just like, let me get a little bit used to the truck. So now I'm ready for my 6-inch lift and bigger tires.
So how do you use your Gladiator? Is it a daily driver, or do you do any off-roading? You're shaking your head like no.
No, we do go off-roading, but it is just my recreation, my fun vehicle. So
well, let's get into some specifics, starting off with the wheels. So she has the 18 by 9.5 inch Black Rhino Rapid Midnight Blue wheels with the negative 18 millimeter offset, which gives this Gladiator an aggressive stance. You told me a little bit about how you wanted to do kind of the red, white, and blue theme, but it was already kind of oversaturated with red, which I see a lot too. So can you tell me a little bit more about why you chose this wheel?
Just the color. Like, I love blue. Blue is one of my favorite colors. And again, Wonder Woman is red, blue, and gold. So the blue and gold was just something that just stuck out to me. So I just kind of I put a little custom cap on top of the cap with the blue and gold. So it was just something that was like, this looks great. This is different. I haven't seen this wheel anywhere. So that was the premise behind me taking that wheel.
Now, why did you choose Black Rhino? Is that really just because they had your color and they kind of had that one-off wheel that you were looking for?
Solely for the color. When I was looking, I did a lot of research on Extreme Terrain, and that was just the one that stood out to me.
Now, why did you go with the sizing that you did? So you have an 18 by 9.5 inch wheel. Why did you choose that?
Again, just to get used to the Gladiator driving the truck from the Jeep. So that's really why I chose it. But again, 40-inch tires next year, so I'm looking forward to it.
The 9.5 inch width of the wheel paired with the negative 18 millimeters of offset gives you a pretty aggressive stance. It sticks out from the fender well or the wheel well about 1 inch. Are you happy with this combination compared to the stock stance?
I love it. It makes it look different. I mean, and it feels and looks like me. Extreme Terrain kind of suggested it while I was looking for the wheels.
Now, are you happy with the sidewall size of the 18-inch wheel paired with the 35-inch tire, especially when you're going off-road? Is that working out well for you?
Yes, I am very happy with it.
Well, kind of speaking on tires, let's get into the tires. So again, for everybody watching at home, she has the 35 by 12.5 inch R18 Atturo Trailblade XT multi-terrain tire. You said that this is kind of stood out to you because it's not what you see every day. Can you tell me a little bit more about your thought process on choosing this tire?
Again, it was a suggestion. So when I didn't have a lift at the time, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a lift later. So it was the tire with the wheel. I didn't have to get a lift, and so that was the reason behind the wheel, but it looks great. I was happy once I got them in.
And since you are using this as like a recreational vehicle, is there a reason why you chose all-terrain over mud terrain?
Here's the suggestion. We have these. Okay, no brainer. I'm gonna do this.
Was that kind of the same with the sizing? We kind of said that 35 is probably the biggest that you can get with nothing as far as suspension is in the front. Is that why you kind of just wanted the biggest tire that you could fit underneath the fender?
Yes, without the rubbing. So this is what you can do without the lift.
Now, how are they driving? How are they treating you? Do they have road manners on the street? Are they quiet? Are they bumpy? Are they smooth?
They are smooth. I don't know if the Gladiator even had a death wobble, but there's no death wobble. So not only do they drive great, they look great.
Now, when you upgraded the tires, you said you upgraded them right away. Did you have to calibrate for anything like the speedometer or do any gearing or anything to calibrate for that larger size tire?
You know, honestly, I took my truck to get it taken care of and put the tires on and everything. I got the bill and I paid it. So I think they did do some, I think they did do some calibration, but I'm not sure of what they did just because I was just like, here, fix it. They did it and I paid the bill, but I do think we did some calibration on it.
That kind of leads us into the suspension. Again, you have the Teraflex 1.5-inch performance spacer leveling kit. You told me that you didn't really want to do much with the front end or a lift kit just yet, but you wanted a little bit. Can you tell me why you chose this spacer lift?
So I chose it just kind of reading the reviews and seeing that it was, you know, good to level it out. I do have the winch on the front, so it was kind of popped up in the back. So we just kind of wanted to make sure it looked good and it still had the nice stance. So reading the reviews, it was one of the best that I saw just in terms of leveling. And then also it was economical knowing that I'm going to switch out to a 6-inch lift kit. So
did you have any fitment issues with the tires?
No. And again, just to clarify, I got the 35-inch tires because I didn't need a lift, and I wasn't going to do one initially, but then just did the leveling kit because again, when I looked at it and put the winch on, I was like, yeah, so I just went ahead and, you know, like, okay, let's do all of this at one time.
How do you like the way that it looks with the wheels, the tires, and the suspension? Are you happy with it?
I am ecstatic. You know, I'm over the moon. It looks really good. And I mean, ExtremeTerrain gave me the suggestions. Like once I found a tire, I was able to customize it. So I think it looks really, really good.
If you had to go back to the day that you were starting this build, would you have done anything different in choosing the parts that you added on to your Gladiator?
I probably would have just went bigger with the tires and probably would have went ahead and got at least a 3 or 4 inch lift. But again, like I just was worried about a lot that I should not have been worried about. So, but if things were different, I probably would have just went ahead and did that. But I have gotten used to it. I have gotten used to driving something different than a Wrangler. So,
well, that kind of wraps up all of my questions. I just want to give a quick recap on your Gladiator. So again, she has the 2021 Willys Gladiator. You have 18 by 9.5-inch Black Rhino Rapid Midnight blue wheels with a negative 18mm offset, and that wheel and tire combo gives it an aggressive stance. 35 by 12.5-inch R18 Atturo Trailblade XT multi-terrain tires, and the Teraflex 1.5-inch performance spacer leveling kit. Thank you so much for sharing your build. It was really awesome to hear your story. And for more videos just like this, remember to always keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.